And I'd like to welcome you all to today's webinar. My name is Carl Chase. I've been with Dovico for many years, and today I'm going to show you our time off application. And in doing so, at the same time, I'm also going to share near the end a little bit of a treat of how we use this time off app internally. Initially, though, in the beginning, I'm going to show you how to set up a project so the time off app works correctly. Then set up a task that you can have balances equated to those, and then show you how it all ties in together with the timesheet itself. Um, as you know, summer is well on its way, and we're from the East Coast. We spend a lot of time at the beach or at cottages and just relaxing. And I know we're all from different areas and spend different time off in different ways. But today we're not here to talk about how we spend our time off. We're talking about how we know where people are when they're off and what days they're off and how we can use this tool to help guide us in where we need to know where people aren't in and when they're in and know when to reach out to them and know when they're there. So let's start. And initially here, I'll just share my screen and I'll show you, you're already familiar with the Dovico application here. I will log in. Now, in order for the time off app to work, there is a specific project that you need to use in order for it to function properly. And internally, it's called leave absences. This project has a special ID in the background that ties into our leave absence time off app, which makes it all work. Now, in order to add people to the leave absence project or add a new task so they can track time, you just come to the task section. As you can see, I got bank holidays, sick time, vacation time, and volunteer time. And if I want to add a new one, I can just come in here and say, let me think of a new one here, or whatever it may be. And I can come in here and I can go assign, and I can assign the people I want to the specific task. And then when I hit save, we're now ready to see my personal time or any one of these tasks in the time off app. Now, it's important to note that the time off app is not located in the actual application. We use time off, like I said at the beginning of this webinar, ourselves. And the reason why we do so, it has some great features to it. So if I come into here under apps and tools and scroll down, I believe about halfway to the page, there's a time off. We just go access now, and you put your database name in, just like you would log into Dovico, you log into this app. And then here you're presented with the time off app. And as you can see, there's some different buttons, request, calendar, setup, and about, and then a big calendar down here. And I'll explain a little more here in a little bit what you're looking at, but obviously, this is time off. But in order to set it up, there's a setup button. And not everyone's going to have this setup button. People with security groups that allow them to have this button will have it, and time entry users, when they log in, they can only request time off. So if I come in here and go admin, I can put my fiscal year in. I can even, so the time off is tied to our approved workflow system. So if you have a workflow set up for that leave absence project, then when people submit their time off, it's going to get approved. Now you can CC someone on that. And you can also specify what a half a day looks like to you and what a full day would look like to you. And then down here under personal totals, days per fiscal, these are all those tasks actually get drawn in from Dovico, your bank holiday, sick time, vacation, volunteer, what I just did. Now, I already have some set up. So if I go to vacation, you can see I put balances in for my users. This is the time they have off for vacation. But if I go to volunteer time, I may not have much here. I just come in here and that's all you do. It's very quick. You come in here, you just quickly go through and submit at the end the balance of those users, of what they have. And that's it. Once all those balances are now entered, your employees are ready to go to track their time off. And it's as simple as logging in. And like I said, as a user, they would have more of this button, a request button, where it would show how many days they have left for bank holiday, how many days I have left for vacation. And if I want to, take some of that time off, I would take some volunteer time this week and I would just submit it like you would your time. And if there is a workflow in place, it would have to be approved in order for it to show up as approved vacation in the calendar. And if you don't have workflows in your system, don't worry. They will automatically be approved once they're submitted. So there's no way to do this wrong. Let me go back to the calendar now that I submitted some time. Anywhere you see like here, Andy Brown, he requested a week's vacation already passed and we didn't approve it. So he must be upset, I would assume. But here you see other vacation requests that are approved. Anywhere we see this little name, this is a half day. And if you double click like I just did there, you can see a lot more detail about the time off that the person had requested. Um, so that's basically it. Like we come in, well, we don't come in to here to figure out, who's out that day because it's another step. We've come up with our own solution, which is we use Slack and Slack has integration and we have an API. So we've come up with we devised a way when we submit our time and it's approved that every day we have a channel where we display who's off who that day. So you have a very good indication, and we do so. It looks something like this. We made a mock channel where you're at. This channel is not only used for like, displaying the names of the people who are off that day, but they're also used to tell, I went to lunch or I have to bring my animal to the vet or something. We use it as a way to coordinate where we are and know where each other are. And we also can quickly, like if I come in today and I want to make a meeting with someone, I'm like, are they in today? And I come in, I can just quickly scroll up to the beginning of the day and I can see who's out that day. So it's great. And we also have a Teams similar integration that you can do as well, where the names will be populated in Teams to tell you who's off. Now, there will be a form at the end of the webinar that will be shared that you can sign up for that allows you to get instructions, not only written instructions, but one of our colleagues did a great job in creating videos on how to create these integrations. So and also, they will be provided you if you sign up for the form. And if you have any problems afterwards setting it up, because it can be a little technical, we do have a support team available to help you at any time. Uh, Essentially, though, that would be how Dovico currently uses time off and how it's set up and how it works and how we know where people are. And I would like to open the floor to any questions anyone would have if they'd like to know more or have any question how it works or anything like that. There's no questions. It is pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not a lot complicated here, but again, if you need assistance, it is also a free app. There is no cost to this, and there is also no cost to the form that you fill out to get the instructions to integrate it with your Slack. This is just available on our website, like I said, under apps and tools.
There's a
Would
question
my
there.
team like that? Is this a
There's a
question?
question there.
Okay, I can't see it. Sorry.
It says, I joined a minute late, but how does the system know how much time an employee has available in the first place?
Okay, I'll go back. I'll share my screen again. Hold on. Sorry about that. The way you know the balances in the, oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. The balances in the first place is under setup here. If you're an administrator or similar to an administrator, you have to be higher up than a user. You can do this setup. And as I was saying, the fiscal year, tagging people, CCing people to the request, half a day, full day. That's how you determine, the length of time they're out. But here would be the tasks that are assigned to the project, leave absences. I'm not sure if you were here for that beginning part, probably not. But this is be the place where you would put the totals in, and then just submit them. And then the person has the ability to request, once they have their balances, given to them, just by hitting request there. And that same balance I put into setup would show up here for them.
I see another question
Sure.
from Dan Wilson.
Yeah, I see it. We use unlimited PTO system, which just maximum amount of PTO for each user, or do we setting? We use a limited PTO system and not just enter a maximum amount of PTO for each user. Well, Dovico does have like PTO in Dovico is more handled. We have another system that's not this time off. It's more of an accrual system and more of a paid time off system where you accrue time and then you can take time away from that time if that's more what you're referring to. We do have a built-in system that takes care of that PTO environment more than it does this app, if that answers your question, I hope. Guys logged in, time out, so it only shows 2 of my 8 employees. How can I tell? All right, so if it only shows 2 of your 8 employees, the only reason why that is because when you come into leave absences, I would assume when you come into leave absences down here and you go edit, the tasks that has the 2 people on it. So you come under assign here. I'm not sure which version you're on, but you come under assign here. Their name is probably to the left and not to the right. And you just click their name. Let me find a better example. If I have any, let's do this. You just click their name and then you add the additional ones to the assignment. And once you do so, and you go back into time off, their names will appear. All the names will appear in the here. If there's more questions, just log into time off instead of the show. Okay, FYI. Yes, Diane made a comment, one of my colleagues, that it's also available on the mobile app if you want to just quickly submit some time off and not have to do it on a PC. So that's available too. I forgot to mention.
Carl, I have a question. I've
Go ahead.
always used it as an admin, never as a an employee per se, because we have all of us as admins in our case. When you go to Dovico Timesheet, can you access the apps in menu right there on the right where it says
Yeah, hold
apps?
on. Where do we hide that?
A little bit further right.
All right,
Yeah.
so it jumps you right to the yeah.
Can
So
you
you don't.
access that when you're an employee, or is that app menu pop up for
That
everyone?
app menu's only, yeah, there's no app menu for the user.
For user,
It's
okay,
only for the admin. Yeah, we could
maybe
change
it's
that and add it, yes.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we could put in a request to add that to the my entries as a menu option. Would be kind of cool for employees to access if they want to
Yeah, for
from
sure.
here.
I think everybody should have this because some of the tools aren't admin tools, so it's good comment there.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
exactly.
Shelley?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Dan Wilson. You're saying that you use an unlimited PTO system, meaning your people have unlimited time off, and therefore you wouldn't book any hours. There's no limit to their hours. Is that what you mean? Is Dan still with us?
So Shelly, he answered, well, people still
Oh,
request time off and we have a soft cap of about 30 days off. So I think it's similar to what we have internally.
Okay, good enough, good enough. I was just curious, making sure I understand that conversation. So that's what we do. We have unlimited time off as well. We do have a number in there. If they go over the number again, like Carl kind of mentioned at the very start, it's really about knowing where the people are, so on the project, you don't want to reach out to somebody if they are on holidays. So this actually gives you a good visual of that. So thank you. Thank you for answering that. Just curious.
Yeah, and if I can add, Dan, the number will just go into the minuses if it surpasses that kind of soft limit that you were talking about. So people can keep submitting time off, and it'll just go into the minuses for the time that goes above the limit.
Thank you, everyone, for straightening my. I think I read it wrong, so thanks for clarifying for me. Is there any other questions from anyone?
I have a question for people here. So I wouldn't mind knowing if any of you have used the time off app before, although I can't see you, but maybe you want to put a note in the, if you have used it before, we'll accept feedback as well. So if you have changes to it or, anything that you think would be helpful for you would be nice as well.
Awesome, Robin. Yeah, the Teams integration, we tested it ourselves too, just to make sure it works, and it does. So yeah, you'll get that form shortly. If they're currently still working on it, but once it's ready, if you just fill in the form at the end of this webinar, you're going to get the instructions. Yeah. Well, great. We're a little short, 10 minutes short, but unless there's anything else, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us today and learn a little more about our product and a little more about, some of the apps that we worked on that weren't in the actual application. We're always, we like any suggestion if you do use the time off app, if you have or you're going to, anything you run into, emails to support.dovico.com or sales or myself personally, just to let us know how if there's an improvement or something you need, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. So I want to thank you and hope you all have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Carl. Good
Thank you,
job.
Carl.